Hey, this is Paul Allender from Diamorte, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Brutally Delicious!
So I guess it's been a while. Last one we did was Russ, which went live yesterday.
Yeah, right on. I saw that he shared it. So it looks like Garth listened to it, so that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for listening to it, Garth. If you're listening to it, if you're listening to this one, thanks, dude.
So that's our fifth listener now, I guess, or something like that.
Right on. We're at about a 0.75 person raise every time we release an episode, so that's pretty good.
And that's beautiful. And I know today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do some reviewing of songs.
I actually just finished listening. I've been listening to that song quite a bit over the last while. I really like it.
Yeah, so we could jump right in there if you want. So this week's, I know we got to come up with a nifty name for it, but this week's spin is from Unto the Wolves, and I believe it's called The Pacifist.
Yeah, and it's featuring Kiera. I don't know how to say that last name. Kiera.
Letitia, maybe?
Letitia.
Sure.
And in brackets it says Italian culture, which I don't know what that means, but
I don't know what it means either, but 30 seconds into this bad boy, there's some massive breakdowns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing I liked about this track the most is it started out kind of, I don't want to say generic because I liked it right away, but it had that kind of generic metal, like super tight, super well edited kind of recording. But it just got heavier, you know? And then even though the guy's screaming, there's still a melody to what he's doing. You know,
well, yeah, because he's not really like screaming like I don't know, like a behemoth kind of scream. He's screaming, but you can understand what he's saying.
It's melodic.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And then the girl comes in, and I was like, oh, I guess that's why it says featuring. It's just
no one ever said you were the brightest bulb in the bunch, so yeah, I guess that's.
Well, no, but like in metal, oftentimes there'll be a female lead vocalist. You think it's a dude, just because the growling. Like look at Britta from Cripper, or
absolutely.
I guess Cripper's done now, but like the first time I saw them, I was like, holy, this is crazy. And then there's Alyssa from Arch Enemy, who can really sing quite well, but when she screams, you just don't think that it's a woman, which is very cool, I think, personally.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I thought this track, I listened to it like, I don't know, half a dozen times this morning before I was getting ready for this, and it definitely kicks.
Yeah, I love the rhythm, that da-na-na-na-na, you know, it's like,
very chuggy, very down-tuned, very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from the production standpoint, I mean, you could probably speak to this more than I can because you're more relevant to this, but it's definitely very well produced.
I agree. I thought the editing was really tight, especially on the guitars. You know, like when you're playing through that much distortion or that much gain, the guitars tend to be noisy, you know, in silence, and they edited them really tight and they lined everything right up. It was a very well done modern metal production, in my opinion.
Cool. So if you're listening to this, or one of those 5, maybe 6 by the time we get this out, make sure you step over and check out. We're going to play it here in a second, but check out this tune from Unto the Wolves called The Pacifist.
Great song. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
So getting back to today, I mean, you said you were doing some research on Paul. He's kind of been around the block a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've heard of Cradle of Filth before, but I've never actually heard Cradle of Filth. So instead
You didn't see them on the boat?
I don't think I did, no. I mean, what year were they on?
The last time I went, so it would have been 17? I did not... Oh, wait, I missed 2, right? Maybe it was 16.
Yeah. Did they play... How many times have they played on the boat?
Twice. Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh,
I only saw them the one time.
You know what? I always get them and Corrosion of Conformity. I have no idea why I get those names mixed up, but I do. It's maybe because I'm Sildexic. But
right.
I'm not sure if I've seen them live, but I've never heard them. So instead of actually going to listen to Cradle of Filth, I listened to White Empress.
Yeah, which is great because Paul has been gone now for a while. Yeah. And White Empress was his project a couple of years ago. And he actually did some of my Brutally Delicious stuff with me.
Oh, really?
Then he did a great cooking episode, which was fantastic. Then he kind of disappeared from the scene and went and got his we'll let him talk about it here, but went and got a cybersecurity degree, like a 4-year bachelor's in cybersecurity.
Wow.
And then from what I understand is decided, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to head back into the music business. So he he joined forces with that Diamorte, the Red Opera.
Yeah.
Which in turn led to some kind of management deal, which we'll talk to him about, with Alpha Omega. So it looks like he's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Now he lives in Minnesota.
What's Alpha Omega?
So that's a new production company, or maybe it's not a new production company, but the partnership, he's giving bands and artists music advice.
Oh, cool.
Because he's got so much experience in the scene, he's kind of like a, I guess, mentor.
That's just something metal bands don't have. That's amazing. You know,
yes.
Like there's lots of mentors if you want to be a pop star or, you know, or along those lines. But for metal musicians, there's not really anything like that that I'm aware of, other than just getting a manager, you know. But
right.
But like those days, getting a manager is kind of like old school music business, really, because it's become so much a DIY, especially in the metal scene. You know, metal has really taken the way that punk used to be, which is like, we're going to do it ourselves. Here we go. Let's do this.
Right.
So
book your own shows, manage your box office, and then drive yourself. All of it's done very DIY.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. What was that band? One of the first bands we interviewed. Oh my God. I can't remember. I love that song. It's always on YouTube. Let me find out what it is here. I always listen to that track. And it is, let me just go home. My Own Will. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when we talked to them, he was like, well, you know, we're just kind of booking shows and getting the CD pressed, and like they were taking care of everything themselves. I just saw yesterday they're playing a sold out show in Chicago.
It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
It also, I mean, I guess it gives the artist, more control over it, but still the days of the record labels when I was still in the music business, you still had the budget and, you know, they had that kind of thing. That's all gone now, but.
Oh, it's history. It's unfortunately, I mean, in some ways I'm really happy about that because it puts the power in the hands of the people that make the music, but I'm kind of unhappy about it because, you know, like, there's no way for anyone to get their foot in the door really anymore unless they become like a viral star, you know? And
right. And most of that's teen crap.
Yeah.
Pop crap.
And there's not a lot of money in, like, you know, people used to make a lot of money on YouTube, which they still can. Lots of people still do, I guess. But like in terms of like ad blockers and all kinds of stuff that are going on, how are they going to make money off Spotify when the mechanical royalty is like not even a penny per play? I don't know.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yeah, we could talk to him about the mentor thing. We've got a lot to talk to him about. It should be quite an interesting conversation.
I saw something on their YouTube channel which made me kind of chuckle a little bit. Now, you're going to get this. So they're mentioning the members of the band. So Paul Allender, obviously, of Cradle of Filth. Mary Zimmer from Luna Mortis, which is cool. Great band. But then, at the very end, they have their drummer, Zach Morris. Guess what band he's from?
I have no clue, dude.
Just take a wild guess. Anything.
Nickelback.
No. Ugly Kid Joe.
Really?
I was just like, what? And I was just like,
right. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, what is this? But, people grow and they change and they become metalheads, I guess.
Or he's, doing multitasking and trying to make some money.
Yeah, you never know. He's a good drummer, though. I just wasn't expecting, like you see, like Cradle of Filth, Luna Mortis. You don't expect Ugly Kid Joe to land in that statement.
What have you been listening to this week? Or the last couple weeks now? It's been a break, I guess.
Oh, my God. What haven't I been listening to? My uncle sent me this piano girl who covers metal. And what's her name again? I got to find it. And I've been listening to a lot of metal piano covers.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, so this is, what's her name? I'm just got to load it up here. VK Goes Wild. So,
really?
Yeah, and she plays all of these covers on metal, like Nothing Else Matters. Here, I'll just go to her.
And they're good?
Yeah, they're amazing. I was shocked. Deutschland muss sterben by, yeah. Then she does like a Tim Buckley cover, Beatles, System of a Down, Guns N' Roses.
Really? Does she sing or is it just all instrumental?
It's all piano. And she even does the Great Gig in the Sky as a piano cover, which is really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
VK Goes Wild. Check it out if you want.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check it out. So I've gone back in time here. I think I mentioned it in a message I sent you, but I've been on this 3 Inches of Blood kick.
Oh, yeah. Great Canadian band, eh?
I don't know how I got there, but I was going through my old library of stuff, and I'm like, I want to find some old stuff I haven't listened to in a while. I forgot how freaking good they are. Or were, or whatever.
You want to hear a funny story about those guys?
Sure.
So I'm in Vancouver, where I used to live, and a friend of mine and I were at a Canadian Football League game, like the CFL, where there's nine teams, and we were pretty fucking wasted. I'm not gonna lie, like we were drunk, and just about 3 or 4 blocks from the stadium, there was this little club called the Media Club, and we used to pop in there because they had live music sometimes, and it was just close to the stadium, and we go there after the games. So we walk in, and I hear this band just ripping my face off. Now, this club could only hold maybe 125 people if it was over fire capacity. It was just tiny. And the stage was so small, like they couldn't even barely fit on the stage together.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I watched them just rip the shit out of that venue. And it was shortly thereafter that they just took right off. I think they signed,
I don't know what happened to them. They kind of just like vanished.
Yeah, I think they signed a Roadrunner like kind of directly after that. I think it was Roadrunner. And they did a bunch of touring, and I haven't heard from them at all.
No. I saw them on a Monsters of Mayhem or the Mayhem tour.
Oh, yeah.
Probably like 6, 7, I don't know, way back. It was a while ago. And they were on one of the smallest stages, but boy, they were freaking good. So that's what I've been listening to. I've been going down memory lane and pulling up some old school. I mean, he's got that old school, like 80s new wave British heavy metal scream going on.
Oh, yeah. And the guitar players are like doing dueling harmonies and stuff. That's what
very cool.
I walked in, and I can't even remember what year that would have been. Maybe 2000, early 2000s anyways, whenever it was. And I was like, what the hell? Who's going to listen to something that throws back like Iron Maiden? But yet I was just right into it. I was just like, this is awesome. It was before I was heavily into metal, obviously.
Right. All right, so Paul just sent me a text. He's ready. You want to just jump in?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
How are you, man? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, when I asked how you were doing, my Alexa kicked in. And Alexa was like, yeah, I'm great, thank you very much.
Nice. Hey, Paul, that's my partner, Chris.
Hey, Paul, nice to meet you, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Fantastic, thank you.
Thanks for taking the time to do this. I know you're busy.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, man.
Cool, man. I don't know where you want to jump in, but I know you've been back in the music business or full-time for the last, couple months maybe? And in those
about 2-3 months.
And in those couple months, you've done quite a bit or got your feet wet quite quickly, right? So I don't know where we could start. We could start with your Diamorte, the Red Opera, if you want. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we can start that. I was actually with Diamorte. I was actually asked to join because they were going before I joined, obviously. And this last album, they wrote it before I joined. So I've known Drake for quite a while, and he basically asked me. He said, he tried to get me in on the Red Opera, freaking about a year ago. But yeah, so and then I was doing other stuff. I was still taking my break from the music industry. I'd been doing it for like 20 years, and I needed a breathing space. So I took like 2 or 3 years out and did cybersecurity.
Right.
So I did that, and then when I decided, it was time to go back into it again, then he sent me the album. He says, "Look, do you want to join?" Blah 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 blah. So I thought the album was super cool, and so I was, yeah, absolutely. So like now we've just done a video. It's for a track, Ashes and Sorrow, off of the album Red Opera, and it's like pure cinematic. Do you remember? Have you seen the White Empress video that I did, Revenant?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a few years back, right?
Yeah. It's in that vein. Like that, it's cinematic, not really much playing. There's no playing. There's some singing in it, but it's all story based. So it's like that.
Okay.
We're writing new stuff. We're unplugging like crazy for this video that's coming out. So it's good. Plus also the fact that it's an opera as well. So the people that are playing on stage don't just stand there and play. We all act as well.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
So it's an actual proper full opera and not just a metal band playing. So everything, we've all got our parts. We all do our things to go with the music and all that fun stuff.
When does this tour start?
Sorry, go ahead.
When does this tour start?
We're looking to start the beginning of next year.
Oh, cool.
Because there's 8 of us so far in the band, in the outfit, and everybody's scattered all over the world, so we have to try and get everybody in place. So what we can do though, we can actually put the same production on with smaller venues. So we've basically got like 2 productions, one for like large stages and one for like small stages. But we can still put across the image and the story and everything else, and it'll still be just like an opera. And even when people come to shows, it's being treated as if it's an opera hall. So you'll get the program as soon as you walk through the door, be able to see the list of everything, the whole 9 yards.
Oh my God!
Do I need to wear a tux?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I know this is something that you had started sort of along the lines with White Empress, correct? I mean, you were always into that, releasing singles as mini movies or
yeah, no, exactly. Well, that stemmed off from when I was in Cradle, because not many people know this, but me and the lighting guy, the main lighting guy in Cradle, we used to do all the stage production.
Oh, cool.
So it kind of goes on from that. So everything you saw on stage was pretty much like me and the lighting guy when I was in Cradle. But yeah, so White Empress, I mean, that stuff's still going. I've still got a lot of plans for that. But I'm just taking one thing at a time.
Sure.
That's what it will be. It will go straight down that road. The guys that filmed the Diamorte Ashes and Sorrows video, I started talking to those, and so I've nearly finished the full film story for the White Empress Revenant idea. And so what they're going to do, once I give it to them, they're going to get it scripted and they're going to send it off for trying to get funding for it.
So you've got 8 million things going on at the same time.
Oh, I love it, dude. You know what I mean? If I'm not going 100 miles an hour, I'm so freaking bored. It's ridiculous.
So, are you doing your own video editing as well then, and camera work?
Yeah.
Really? Now, I might get geeky here. If that's okay. But
Yeah.
what camera are you shooting with, and what software are you using?
The camera stuff. I don't do the camera stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I do the editing and the color grading and all that.
Okay.
So what I'll do for videos, well, especially for the Revenant one, there's myself and a couple of other guys. We all got into it. So Keith and his son, they're the two main camera guys. They pulled a few strings for us to film it in certain places. But literally, I was there. So the three of us directed it. We produced it, and they just sent me all it was really nice actually, because we managed to, even though we were filming it in like a Halloween haunted house, Hobbs Grove, in Fresno, we ended up, so it was in there and it was nice. We managed to get a TV screen, and then I could actually line up all the shots that were needed for the ideas I had for editing. So that made it really nice and pretty easy actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I just put it together, color graded it. There's a few bits in there I was like, I mean, when I look at it now, because my color grading is freaking far superior than it used to be. So when I look at it now, I'm thinking about just re-releasing it completely graded completely differently.
Oh, interesting. What are you editing and grading in? Are you
DaVinci?
Oh, nice. I just started using DaVinci, and it's unbelievable.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it. Especially when it's got like, you can have automatic scene cut in it as well. So you can get a file. If you've got somebody sent you a video and it's all been put together, as long as there's no weird fades in it, you can set it up for automatic scene cut, and it'll go through and separate everything off for you and just throw it in your media pool.
Oh, that's amazing. Really? I think that's only in the studio version, right? Not the free version.
No, free one.
Oh, wow. God, I don't even know how they give that thing away for free. It blows my mind.
Well, Blackmagic, they're concentrating on hardware instead of software.
Yeah. But
because I looked at one of their cameras and went, not just yet.
Yeah. They have those little pocket cameras that shoot in B-RAW, which is pretty cool. But I think the camera is $1,000, no glass, and then you have to.
No lenses, no nothing. I was looking at one of those. I was looking at the pocket camera actually, and it was about $1,500.
Oh yeah,
for just the body.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been trying to get Bruce on DaVinci for the last while.
You sent me a link. It's a steep learning curve on DaVinci, though. I'm trying to work my way through it.
It is. The way I got around it, I just basically jumped on YouTube and just went through all the videos on YouTube. And I signed up for a color grading course as well. And I paid for that. And that's just basically got me started off on it. I mean, I do all the editing, effects, and everything all in DaVinci. I don't use anything
Really?
else.
See, I'm still using Vegas. I don't know what, Vegas 16 or whatever's out now, the newer Vegas. But I guess I'm used to it.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If whatever you're used to in the end of the day,
Right. So, on top of doing all the music stuff you're doing, you've partnered with Alpha Omega and started a sort of mentoring project or mentoring thing?
I was doing that before they asked me to be affiliated with them. So I just started off because I know Taja like really, really super well, the marketing, the woman there. I've known her through all the years I was in Cradle. She used to interview me all the time. So what I did is I decided when I got back into it again, one thing that got me back into it, because I was reading all these bands and seeing all these bands online and everything, and looking at it, it was like there's a huge, huge gap in these bands knowing how to do this properly. You could, fair enough, some bands, if they don't want to do that, then whatever, it's up to you, But I've started to get more and more bands. I mean, I'm looking after 8 bands now.
Oh, wow.
That quickly, huh?
Yeah, so what I want to do, but the bands I'm looking after, they want to progress further into doing whatever their goals are. I help them get to wherever they want to go. But the main thing is what I do is like I'll work their social and do all that fun stuff to be able to get more likes, because you need to get to a certain level of likes to be able to be taken seriously.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, that's the world. It was never like that when I started. You know, when I started, you just did a demo tape, threw it off to a label, and if they liked you, they signed you, and that was it. Job done.
Right. There were no likes.
No. You know, but now everybody looks at likes and streams. You know, and I'll get a lot of bands going, we just want to play Europe. And went, all right, fine, that's cool, you can do that. So let me have a look at the data that you've established. Like they'll have like 2,000 likes in one country, or 3,000 streams in like one country, or 50 in another in Europe. Well, it's not enough. You're not going to get into a talk with that, you know, or get onto whatever, because at the end of the day, the reason why I started this is so bands can make money, you know, but I have to be able to get them, or they want to be able to get to a certain level to be in that position to make money. You know, I've just joined up with like this freaking serious marketing guru. And so we're going over, we're really like drilling into the industry and into the scene to find out where all the loopholes are and where all the gaps are and what's the main struggle and everything like that. And this is then leading us on to actually releasing our own like video series eventually.
Oh, cool.
You know, with that people can post just straight off the bat and then go at it at their own steam. You know, but yeah, so I'm turning into a bit of a marketing guru myself now, which is purely by mistake.
So,
you know, sorry.
Are these all metal bands? All 8? Are they metal bands or?
Yeah, all metal bands.
Oh, that's just, you know, I was just telling Bruce earlier, there's nothing like that for metal musicians.
Yeah, I know. I keep seeing all these free video, download this, blah, 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 blah. And I go through it all and I look at all these to go, okay, so what are these offering? Just so I can get an idea of what other people are offering, how they're going around it and all that stuff. Just so I can not really look at the competition, because I don't really see it as competition, but it's more of just like a market research thing, just to go and look to find out what they're doing and how they're doing it. And it's all indie bands, Indian pop bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all Indian pop, but I'm not interested in that. I'd rather put what I know into the metal industry, because at the end of the day, it can be as big as you want it to be. You know, look at bands like freaking, I don't know, they're not really metal anymore, but Metallica.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're more of like a rock band as far as I'm concerned now, but it proves that it can be done.
Absolutely.
Sure. You know, so then it proves the industry is that big to be able to do that. So, yeah, so I just decided, hell, I'm just going to go for it, do this. I go over stage production. I get everything from, I'll listen to the sound they've got, go over their artwork. I'll completely rebrand them if they want it to go that far. Like I said, stage production. I'll do everything from meet and greets to how to act when you're actually on stage or off stage or in front of fans or in front of whoever. I cover absolutely everything, right from infancy all the way up to as if you're playing like on stadium stages.
And getting that information and that kind of knowledge from a 20-plus year veteran is pretty much invaluable, especially like me and Chris were talking. Everything is DIY these days.
It is. It totally is. You know, it is, and it's perfectly fine. But the whole DIY side of it, you need to start off with learn like crazy. But instead of like, if I say I've come along, and they can just say, oh, how do you do this? Well, oh, easy, here. Here's some links. Here's this. Do this, but don't. Whatever you do this. You know, because you're just going to send yourself back to square one. And I've only learned this because, like, the amount of years I spent in Cradle, instead of just like writing music and doing that, I dealt with like all the merchandise and the merch companies. I spoke to labels. I mean, Cradle was on so many record labels, it was ridiculous. But so I spoke to all of those, and I spoke to tour managers. I spoke to venues. I spoke to like normal managers. Everything else like this, you know. And I learned from when we first started and got to the point where we're doing tours. I just drilled it in through the last freaking 18, 20 years, whatever it is.
Right.
It's amazing. And now this might be too personal of a question, but do you charge an upfront fee for this, or are you doing it for commission, or are you doing it because
No,
you
it's
love to do
upfront.
it?
It's
Upfront?
it's kind of mentoring, but I call it like artist development now. So it's a bit better than mentoring.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Sure.
Mentor sounds like the Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, right. I was watching that the other night. Actually, I quite like Seinfeld, but anyhow. but yeah. So I mean, I do. It's like for me to actually go over everything. So what happens is I charge like $250, right? And what they'll do for that first month, I'll just go over everything, and I'll literally ask the band to send me everything they've ever done their whole career, right from it started up until present. So I can go through it all. I'll go through all their Facebooks, I'll look at their image, I'll look at their artwork, I'll look at their performances, their videos, absolutely everything. And then at the end of that month, I'll say, right, you need to do this, and this. That's not a good idea. That's great. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, some bands I've got, they come along and they go, okay, we can... They'll have, for argument's sake, they'll have their image and everything absolutely nailed down. And they say, we just need help just getting out there further. And all right, fine. Right. But some come along, they have no idea what the hell they're doing. And so they want basically their handheld through absolutely everything.
Right.
You know, which I do. And then after that, all I do is just, because I want bands to make money, it's just $100 a month.
There you go. And you know what? I think you're filling a void.
That's just unbelievably kind, you know? That's very, like, to me, that feels like metal, I don't know how to say the word, philanthropic, you know? It's like, you're just like, you know what? There's an exchange, but there's also, it's unfair to you, in my opinion, for what you're doing. It's amazing.
I kind of get that, but in the end of the day, it's like, because I'm looking at it from a band's point of view, you know, and not from a business point of view.
It's unbelievable.
You know, so therefore I want the bands to make money so they can afford their own marketing, or if they come across a show that is a buy-on, unfortunately, then they've got the money in the band account to go and do it, and they're not actually going to lose money out of their own pockets.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, so my fees are just like token gesture. I love doing it, to be honest. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the wife, I'd be doing it for free.
We've all been there.
But honestly, I think you're filling a void that when record companies kind of went bankrupt and disappeared, those artist development divisions are gone. So you're filling like that A&R sort of hole,
pretty much,
think,
yeah.
Right?
Pretty much, a bit more of a modern twist to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll get them out there, you know. I mean, I've got a decent amount of contacts as well, and I reach out to Alpha Omega as well for argument's sake. If I end up scratching my head over something, I have contacts I can reach out to that will actually go, oh yeah, we've got that. You can go this place here. This will work, or this will work.
Right.
You know, I've been doing it a long time, but you know the industry's different now, so I'm still putting in to what I've learned through all those years. And also now I'm also learning more modern stuff.
And that information is invaluable. So I mean, the $100 a month or whatever you're talking is crazy considering what they're getting.
Exactly. If you're in a 4-piece band, it's like $25 a month. It's not exactly going to break the bank.
Yeah.
Don't drink Starbucks for a week or 2 weeks, and you can pay
much,
that.
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, the more bands I work with, and the more, because even though I've been going for a couple of months, it's kind of only just starting, you know. So the more bands I get involved, and also the more people see how it's actually working, then eventually the price will go up a little bit, but it's not going to be horrendous.
Right.
I just think it's amazing. It's such an unbelievable way to give back to the metal community.
I know, I love it. You know, I see so many bands and I see so many fucking mistakes. It's ridiculous. I'm like, what are you doing? That? No. So, yeah.
What kind of mistakes are you talking about?
The main one that I see all freaking time, right, and I just don't get this, bands will be into their idols or their bands, their influences, but they'll sound exactly the same like a band that they're totally into that's already done it. You know, so why would you want to do that if it's already been done? Then you say, oh, we're not getting anywhere. Well, duh.
Right.
You know, it's because you sound like that, or you look like that, or you sound and look like that. Well, why? You know, why don't you want to actually innovate, make something up? Take your influences, don't copy them, write your own shit, even if it sounds like freaking, I don't know, jazz, for God's sake, with blast beats or whatever. You know, you're putting your own things, you're creating your own path. Don't follow paths of other bands that you're totally into. I mean, it's like when I was writing in Cradle, when I still write now, you know, I'm going through, for argument's sake, I'll write riffs in the vein of a particular band that I'm into, but it will sound nothing like it because I'll make damn sure it doesn't sound nothing like it.
Right.
You know, and you can do that. You can absolutely do that. I did it all the time in Cradle, you know, but it never came out sounding like the bands. I mean, we was like heavily into Maiden, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Slayer, freaking you name it, all the above, you know. They're all my influences, but you'll never hear that actually coming out into the music I write.
Right.
You know, you can keep that and do that. And I get people saying to me, yeah, but you've got the knack, you can do it. No, not really. I just fucking practice shit tons, you know.
Put the time in.
And the key to it, the reason why I can do it like that, I never played a guitar cover when I was growing up. I never wanted to play any other one's songs. This very second I started playing guitar, as soon as I picked it up, I had no idea what the hell it was. I started writing my own stuff. I never played any covers.
That's awesome.
Nice.
You know, and that's where the sound that I apparently produce comes from.
Chris,
you know?
That's great. That's great. Now, when you look at their social media, what are you seeing there? Like, what are the mistakes or some of the positive things that you've seen when you're helping these bands with their social media campaigns?
There's no cohesiveness.
What do you mean?
You know, no, nothing. There's no branding across all of it. You'll get like on some band, the huge mistake, one of the huge mistakes is on your band page, don't post any personal shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't do it because it's your band, it's your brand. Don't do it, you know, because as soon as you do that, you're making it a reality and it just kills it, you know. And I see banners as well that got nothing to do with anything, for argument's sake, you know, or like FB banners is the ideal place to advertise everything, you know, through your social media banners. And for argument's sake, if you go to Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, Twitter, and like a gazillion others out there, whatever ones you use, your image and brand should be actually cohesive across absolutely everything.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, it's the same. It's like looking at it as in the end of the day, it's a business, whether you like it or not. You know, you've got the creativity in it and like all that fun stuff and the real like playing shows and all that. But nowadays, you've got to treat it as a business. I
used to say to people, they don't call it the music charity; they call it the music business.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yes.
Right, yeah, you get people go like, oh, but I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, and then don't do it and stop whining.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. People aren't going to show up because you want them to. You have to give them a reason.
It's a lot harder now. I mean, I've just been blasting. It sounds super boring, but I'm quite kind of geeking over it right now. Email marketing hooks. And it's pretty freaking interesting. And I'm taking it from like just a normal business principle and then actually moving it into the industry that I'm in and filling in the gaps and finding like how would this work? How would this work? And it's actually coming together pretty well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's like, I didn't think, somebody mentioned marketing. I was like, what? But yeah, no, now I'm actually starting to get my claws into it. It's fucking, yeah, it's great.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Chris, anything else?
I don't, man. I really think that what you're doing from a musical point of view is amazing, and from the mental mentorship is amazing. I just I'm kind of new to metal. I only kind of got into metal in like 2011 because I went on 70,000 tons of metal. Okay. And so I actually didn't know Cradle. I never even listened to them. So today Bruce is like, oh, he's in White Empress. Go check that out. Yep. So I went and listened to it, and I was just like, how have I never heard this before? This is freaking unbelievable. You know, like the way that you combine the the programming in with the metal, and it was great.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, that's kind of just what I'm used to, you know? But if you was into, like, someone say, oh, I want you to play in a fucking whatever other style band, I'll be like, yeah, no thanks. You know, because it's just what I'm used to, and that's what I'm comfortable doing, and that's what I'm really into doing, you know? I thought about doing session work, and then I went, no, I don't think so, because, like, when I listen to other bands and stuff like that, I'm super particular when it comes to types of music that I like.
Right.
You know, there's hardly any. I like it if it's super fast. You know, but it has to sound original. You know, so there's a lot of bands out there that I think, this could be so much better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me an example. I'll let you go in a second, but give me an example of something you're listening to right now you can't get enough of.
Oh, I freaking Harmony Corruption, Napalm Death I'm listening to right now.
Okay.
Oh my
Nice
God,
and
that's
heavy.
such a good album. Oh, yeah.
I actually
But
saw
then
them
again,
for the
though,
first
yesterday
time.
I was listening to Journey.
Yeah, I saw your post yesterday. You were listening to Journeys. I mean, that's timeless crap anyway, though.
Oh yeah, dude, I was down the bar with the wife, couple of jars, put Journey on. I thought, this is fucking brilliant.
Oh, I never heard it this way before.
Right? I love it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm listening to Napalm. I've got like Impaled Nazarene on the go as well in the car. You know, I've got a lot of like local bands stuff playing in the car as well.
Right.
That I'm listening to. Yeah, there's some real good stuff out there. It's just some of the local stuff I'm listening to. I'm not going to drop names, obviously, because I might get slapped. But it's when I listen to it, I think, fucking yeah, this is awesome. That comes off, then it goes off on a bizarre tangent. And don't get me wrong, I'm totally into bizarre tangents if they're relevant to what came before it.
Right.
You know, but a lot of the stuff I listen to, I'm like, why the fuck did you go off that way? You know, and then it'll come back again, and they'll be like, "All right, I get it," but it needs a lot of stuff. Here needs some extra put into it,
Right.
You know, and that's the reason why. I mean, a lot of the bands I've got on at the moment, they're all locals.
Gotcha.
So I'm really into helping like the local scene, no matter what country it's in or what area it's in, to try and get up and bring it up and then send them out on tour. Because I was saying that though, there's a bucket load of really cool ass local bands as well.
Oh, yeah. I think you
know.
can find them in any city grinding away.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So this is why I'm doing this. I just want to try and get them up to where I got when I was doing it.
nice.
That's awesome. So I have one last question, and then we can end it. Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right.
How did you end up in the U.S.?
I was on tour
Yeah.
and I met a girl, usual. But yes, so I met a girl and then it kind of went on from there. Then that all fizzled away, and then I met my wife I've got now.
Oh, cool. Right on.
And like I'm a citizen now, so it only took me $15,000 in 9 years to get my citizenship.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate your time. Chris, you good?
I'm really
Pleasure,
good.
brother.
Thank you so
It was
much
fun,
for
man.
your time. Appreciate it.
Hey, be well, Paul. We'll talk to you soon.
Will do. You take care, guys,
Thanks, man.
and I'll
Bye.
hit you up again when I've got more shit coming out.
That was a great interview, right?
Oh, my God. What a nice guy.
Super dude.
Yeah.
I've known him for a few years. Like I said, he did some stuff on the cooking show way back, but very, very nice guy.
Oh, man. Super nice guy. And what he's doing for bands like that is unbelievable. Like, to have someone of that caliber that's done it for so long, that has all of the connections and all of the expertise, to be like $200, then $100 a month. Like,
Yep.
if you're in a band, that's an investment in your future. That's not even money, you know, like that's unbelievable.
And like he said, if it's a 4-piece band, it's $25 a month. So, I mean, that's silly.
And how many 4-piece metal bands are there? There's 5 people at least.
Yeah,
you know?
so it's silly money
Yeah. And
for that kind of attention and, connection.
well, he seems very like detail oriented, everything he does. I mean, if he was in cybersecurity, he has to be detail oriented.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So, I mean, I guess in the end, it's good that he came back from the cybersecurity and decided to get involved and start helping people out, because there's a lot of bands out there that could probably use his expertise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's all I've got, Chris. You got anything else going on?
I don't, man. No.